Invisibility beckoned. The Catskill Ashram I'd been intermittently visiting since January was accepting a few summer applications for people to do seva, or selfless service, also known as work, in exchange for room and board. Ever since I'd stepped into the ashram's cavernous kitchen, with the sacred chants streaming through the speakers, and engaged in the blissful task of chopping carrots for 3,000, I knew I'd wanted to stay for a while. Trying to be an actress in New York City was, well, trying. I'd been at it for a few years, squeezing acting classes and auditions in between my 2 waitressing jobs, one uptown, one down. I was sick of the grime and the noise and the striving and the rejection. But waking up to the pre-dawn sky and the sweet smell of incense, meditating and losing myself in menial tasks connected me to a deep, quiet hum, the music of my being. I wanted to immerse myself in it. I booked an interview and got a ride upstate to the ashram. And on the wooded path from the dining hall to the main building, my daydream about spending my days wearing a shmata on my head, doing dishes, and quietly chanting the name of God was interrupted by a small cluster of people gathered on a footbridge. A salt and pepper, short-haired, red-robed Swami sat on the ground clutching her ankle. She was hurt. Help was on the way. The only thing I could think to do was close my eyes and offer a prayer that she would heal quickly. I continued on to my interview. They grilled me and told me to come back in 2 weeks. 2 weeks seemed like an eternity. But when I arrived back in the seva office, the smiles on the formerly stern faces of the directors seemed promising. In fact, I was told, an interesting opportunity had opened up. The assistant to an injured Swami left to deal with a family emergency. Would I be interested in replacing her? I immediately accepted, although the position was nothing like the chopping and cleaning I'd imagined. It wasn't until I met Swami S. that I remembered her from the bridge, and that I'd said a prayer for her healing at a time when I never would have imagined actually being a part of it. Wow, I thought. In this place, my prayers are literally answered. Well, sort of. Instead of hiding in the anonymous cave of the kitchen, I was out and about meeting the Swami's colleagues, students, and admirers. Plus, Swami S. was cranky. Fiery and in her mid-40s, she was not used to being infirm or dependent. I discovered there was no home emergency. The prior assistant left because things just didn't work out. Sometimes Swami S. had to snap me out of my spaciness. Other times, I got lost in morning meditation and arrived late with her breakfast, her chilly irritability greeting me at the door. And then there was my New York Jewish tendency to analyze her. In response to her edginess, I would say things like, maybe you're just sad about the things you can't do. Once I responded to her complaining by saying, "Aw, well, you'll feel better once the cast comes off." "No," she hissed. "I'll feel better when you get out from inside my head and do your job." It's the kind of comment that packs a punch and sends well-meaning assistants packing. But it was also true. Later that day, I went for a walk to shake off the sting and reflect on doing a better job. The wind rustled the luscious leaves, chuckling with me at the idea of coming to the ashram to cocoon myself in bliss. Instead, I ended up facing myself and learning about real, live intimacy with another flawed human being. One to whom I eventually became a very good assistant.